Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Real Estate Talk Show, Homebuying 101 with Sebastian Cordoba, Mr. Clear to Close. Guys, this week, I'm very excited. Why, right? Because I have a top producing real estate agent. Her name is Peggy Pratt with Pratt Properties team, Century 21. Guys, so aside from having this special visitor and guest, we're gonna be talking about some very hot topics, right? Is now a good time to buy? She's gonna be sharing, opening up her mind and kind of walking us through what's going on in the real estate market, guys. So you cannot miss it. Please like it, comment, share it, and subscribe. Let's talk some real estate. All right, guys, so please, big round of applause, take out them fireworks, and make some noise for Peggy Pratt from Pratt Properties team at Century 21. Peggy, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Sebastian, for inviting me. I am super excited, and something like today reminds me of why I joined the real estate industry, because any platform that I'm able to come, that I'm invited to, that I can share my knowledge with beautiful people, I truly appreciate it.
No, that's amazing. And thank you, Peggy. Honestly, I'm excited. And I know everybody out here is excited and has their notebooks out because you got a lot of good stuff to share with us. So let's start off by first getting to know Peggy, right? Who is Peggy? How did you get into the business? How long? And yeah, let's get to know a little bit about Peggy.
Well, I've been in the real estate industry for about 26 years. When I was young, straight out of high school, I knew that I wanted to do something to help people. I started doing rentals. They told me, you got to get your real estate license. You know, you want to be this, you can't be the secretary anymore. You have too much potential. We want to get you out there. So I took the real estate course. I started doing rentals, but I still didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So I had a restaurant.
Wow.
I ran a bar on the weekends. I had a radio program on Thursday nights. I would do karaoke night on Tuesday nights. I had a clothing store. I tried the jewelry store. I went back to the restaurant business. I did it all, Sebastian, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I knew it was business related. So one day I'm at the restaurant and my old broker comes in and goes, Peggy, you've got to get back to real estate, but this time I want you in sales. The market is trending upwards. Mm-hmm. You are going to be fabulous. We need you. You're Spanish speaking. You're a Latina. The community needs you. So I started to go back into real estate part-time, doing some sales. I realized I had found my calling. The restaurant business was lucrative, but it didn't give me what I needed, that satisfaction in knowing that every day I was doing something to help someone.
Right.
Sales did that for me, especially helping the Latino community. A lot of them needed me to translate things, help them with things. And let's be honest, back 25, 26 years ago, there wasn't so many Spanish-speaking realtors.
Correct.
So I did have that edge. That gave me the edge. And, working hard, work ethic, hustling, doing the right thing, consistency has brought me here. And I can proudly say that real estate was my calling, and I've been doing very well with it.
Amazing, amazing. And you are top producing real estate agent, so I appreciate that. You're also involved with NAREP, a lot of organizations. So I guess my next question, and a lot of viewers are wondering, is how does such a successful woman who has a family, is very busy, has to balance all these things? I mean, how do you do it?
So I have 3 children. I'm the mother of 3 children. Now they're older, but let me tell you, it was a struggle. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat and say, oh, it's so easy to have work-life balance. No, it takes organization. I tell people sometimes us moms, at the same time when we're business people, we have to learn how to multitask, right? We have to plan, we have to strategize, we have to organize our week. So I will say I'm very organized. I'm old school where I have my notebook. I don't keep everything on my iPhone calendar. But just strategizing, being organized. When they were little, I did have a nanny. Thank God. God bless her. I'm going to see her next week. She helped me extremely. And just organization. And you know what? I just love real estate, everything that has to do with it. So being involved in organizations like I am, which is NAREP. I'm a national coach for them. NAREP is the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. I'm on the MLS PIN board as well, which I enjoy. And I'm also on MHC, which is the Massachusetts Housing Coalition, which we fight for landlords against rent control, which a lot of people think is beneficial and don't realize that it really is not. It's detrimental for renters themselves. So just finding the time, being organized. Now, Sebastian, my kids are older. My youngest is 16. I am finding, again, a little more freedom, a little more time. But you know what? With time management, you can do it all.
Amazing, amazing. And those are great tips. I mean, that's important. And you touched a very sensitive topic, which is the rent control. I mean, that's something that we're kind of seeing right now with Boston. They're trying to push it. So you're saying that you're involved with trying to fight against it, which is good. That's good. I mean, I applaud you.
It has not been successful in any other state. It's been not successful in New York. The thing that people don't realize about rent control is if you cap the landlord's numbers, everything else continues to go up on them, which is the energy bills, the water, the taxes. There will be no money left for them to do repairs. So rent control in turn creates slumlords. And that's what we don't want, because there will be no nice new apartments for the renters. There'll be nothing available, and they'll be stuck in mediocre, less than habitable units.
Right, which are just losing equity and value over the years instead of incrementing that investment that you initially made.
Correct, because investors are not going to want to invest because they will not get their return.
Right. Wow, that's amazing. So I mean, that's something that we definitely need to keep an eye on, and I appreciate you putting some work into that, because let's keep this economy boosting, right? So let's get right into it. Speaking about economy, I mean, the market right now, we're seeing, yes, the rates aren't as pretty, but they're historically still relatively low. You're out there every day. You have a phenomenal team underneath you that also is out there grinding and hustling every day, like you said. What's out there? What are you seeing? I mean, where are we at right now in this real estate world?
Well, I tell people, you know, a lot of the buyers out there right now don't know it. They did not live it. And some people out there that did live it do have a bad short-term memory. I bought my first home in the year 98. My interest rate was 9.75%. So I know the prices were also different then, but inflation and everything else has occurred, and equity clearly has to build. But what I tell people is it is still cheaper to buy, even with these interest rates, than to pay rent. One thing that I find that people don't understand and don't realize, and you'll appreciate this, Sebastian, by being in the mortgage industry, is they're looking at a payment that has a principal, an interest, taxes, all escrowed together, and they're like, wow, this is $3,000, this is $3,500. They're not seeing that if they're paying the same in rent, not only they're throwing it all away, but when they pay their mortgage, a good portion of that they're paying themselves because they're paying that mortgage down. So it's like you're taking $600 to $800 of that and you're putting it away in savings. So they're not seeing that if you're putting that away in savings now and you're doing your numbers, it's practically the same thing. And who doesn't want to own their own home? Build equity, build wealth, and build some kind of financial stability, security for their children.
Exactly, exactly. And it can be another retirement vehicle for you, right, as well.
Exactly.
So that's huge. I think that's very important. And it's a very, I want to say, one of the common mistakes that I see, for example, in the mortgage world is, I ask a lot of this in my home buying seminars, is I ask, who decides how much you're going to pay per month, right? Is it you or the bank? And everybody says the bank, right? The majority say the bank. At the end of the day, I tell you what the maximum amount that you can qualify for, right? But at the end of the day, you have to make sure you know how comfortable you're going to be with that monthly payment.
Exactly.
Yeah. And put some money into your own pocket, like you're saying, and not pay the landlord's mortgage.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm in the real estate industry. I don't work for a large firm. Some people do. They have their 401ks. They have all their forced savings that they have throughout their company. Us as realtors or real estate agents or even lenders, our retirement is our real estate. So that's what I've done. That's how I have built my retirement. It is real estate. And if it works for me, it's going to work for you. And they always say, when's the best time to buy? 5 years ago, right? So make the 5 years, start counting today.
No, you guys take that down, please. What's today? So that's huge. That's huge, Peggy. And I mean, what else are you seeing? What's another kind of common mistake that you see maybe a first-time home buyer now that they're seeing how the market's right now, and maybe they're saying, well, let me wait until the prices drop or the rates come down?
Well, that's the number one mistake I'm seeing, Sebastian. People are standing on the sidelines. And again, as they're waiting in the sidelines, 6 months, a year goes by. There's another, thousands, $10,000 or $20,000 that they just gave away in rent. So they're losing by just standing and not doing nothing, because inactivity is one of the worst enemies along with debt.
Yeah.
So I would say that is the largest mistake. Just staying there, just doing nothing. You have to move. You have to buy something. You need a roof. Home ownership is the best and quickest vehicle to future wealth, as you said. And again, you know, what you said, you made a good point. The other thing that I'm seeing is, we know people start off telling us, I want to buy in these two cities. It has to be these two cities. It has to be these two towns. We are seeing people that either work from home or are adding that drive, that additional 20 to 30 minutes to their drive to make it work so they can buy more home for their money. And I think that's a great idea. It's a great investment. Don't let anything hold you back from beginning to save, from beginning to invest.
Love that. So basically what you're saying is, yes, is don't limit yourself to
Exactly.
to just one certain or two certain areas. I mean, be open, and that way it will bring more opportunities your way, and you can take advantage of them.
Definitely.
Right? Amazing, amazing. So, you know, that's good. And you know, aside from that, Peggy, we see how the market's going. We see how competitive it is out there. Are you seeing any battles or bidding again, or if you're out there looking, kind of what's the strategy?
There still are bidding wars. It depends on the property. It depends on the type of property. Sometimes it just depends on the holiday weekend. But you'll definitely see bidding wars out there on certain properties. There are properties that are more attractive to buyers based on their location, based on their amenities. But that's where you need a good realtor. That's when a good realtor comes in place, that's knowledgeable, that knows the market, and let's face it, that has a good relationship with the other players in the industry, that can help, you know, go to bat for you, that can help negotiate for you, that can feel out the terrain, and that's invested in working with you. Very important.
Full time, and they're dedicated to you.
Full time, and they're dedicated to you.
That's amazing, and I'll touch up on the little subject that you just mentioned, because another mistake, right, is how we pre-approve, or how you're working with a solid team, right? Because like you said, it's important to work with a good lender, with a good realtor, an attorney, everybody who's going to be able to put you in best interest, right? So I'll give you a good example. You know, there are circumstances out there when you give a pre-approval out, or lenders, banks give out pre-approvals. A lot of times you limit yourself to that purchase price because you're thinking 600,000, 600,000, 600,000, right? But there are different factors, and the way we like to do pre-approvals is not so much focus on the purchase price, because yes, it's a good indicator of what you should be looking at, but focus on the monthly payment, that monthly affordability, right? Why? Because you can be looking at two properties with the same purchase price, qualify for this one and not qualify for that one. And so what happens? They come to you, Peggy, they come to me, Sebastian, you told me I can qualify for 600, what's going on? Well, let's take a look at the cost. Maybe the real estate taxes here are much higher on this property, making that monthly payment higher.
Exactly, and it's also good to work with a good team. Like I tell people, I can't be in all places at the same time, right? We're all busy people. That's why I try to duplicate myself. I have a real estate team. I have 5 other realtors under me. I have an admin. I have a marketing director. We're all there, and some of us do different functions, but we all work in a team. So if I can't go show properties this weekend, one of my team members will, and I'll be the negotiator. So I always try to make sure that our clients are in the best hands possible and have a support system, and I'm sure the same goes for you.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's all about team, and it's being able to pick up that phone, send a text, and feel comfortable that you feel like they have your back.
Exactly.
Right? So, I mean, and that's kind of one of the reasons I got into the business, Peggy, is I had a worse experience when I bought my first home, and I said, no, forget it. I don't want anybody else, right, let alone our community who doesn't understand the language, you know, sign documents that they don't know. So that's why, you know, I decided to become an expert, and I'm sure it's same way you've gotten into the same line of work.
I remember I used to have to, so I'm really glad that we are in other times now, because one of the things that I do say that I didn't like about back in the day working was having to sit at a closing and translate the closing documents to, I mean, talk about like a RESPA situation. Nowadays, I'm putting myself in liability, but it happened. Nowadays, you know, we have more Spanish-speaking professionals than us as the realtors. We don't have to be the ones to explain all those legal terms to our buyers or sellers.
Exactly, and the neat part is, for example, the guaranteed rate, our lender, everything is sent out in Spanish, right? So the disclosures, that's the loan estimate, that's the CD.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, everything is done in Spanish from the beginning to the end, our processors and even our underwriters. So it's really a matter of making sure we're tailoring to everybody, first-time homebuyer investors in our community, right?
That's awesome.
But Peggy, I mean, this is good. I know we're running out of time, so what I want to kind of leave us with is, you know, what's one last piece of knowledge? What's something that you want to share with us and make sure that we listen and take it in and apply it, right? But more importantly, Peggy, please, what's the best way for everybody to reach out to you?
All right, well, shameless plug time.
Yes.
As you're taking a sip, I have a podcast. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sin Permiso, a Latina Lifestyle Podcast. Check it out on Spotify as well. I interview a lot of entrepreneurs, and we have a lot of started from the bottom. Now we're here stories, so it's going to be really exciting. It is in English, a little bit of Spanglish here and there, but I hope that everyone enjoys it. So the best way to reach me, my cell phone. We also have our website, which is has tons of information, the prattpropertiesteam.com, so www.prattpropertiesteam.com, and my cell phone. Cell phone number 617-438-5355. If I could leave you all today with a word of advice, it's going to be the words of my ex-broker, rest in peace, Wanderley, who died having his own private island in Brazil. Yes, he would have many, many units back in the day in East Boston. His wife thought he was nuts, but he had vision. We would sit there at our sales meeting. Brand new in the business, I'm sitting there with some of the top agents, and he would say, listen, guys, you're never going to make money just selling real estate. You must buy real estate. And there's going to be people watching us at home that are going to say, oh, I'm 55, I'm 60, why buy now? Again, you must buy real estate. There is always going to be an uptick. There is always going to be equity. There's ups and downs. Your sons, your children, your nephews, your nieces, get them to buy young. There's no better vehicle for future wealth than real estate. If I could leave a tip for any of you guys, that would be it.
Amazing, amazing. So big round of applause. That was amazing, guys. So again, Peggy, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. I know everybody got a lot of good knowledge out of this, so thank you. And guys, don't miss it. This is a good one. And so please, one more time.
Sin Permiso, a Latina Lifestyle Podcast.
Love it, guys. So please, cannot miss it. Also, like it, comment, share it, subscribe it. And we'll see you guys next week here on the Real Estate Talk Show with Sebastian Cordoba, Mr. Clear to Close.
Thank you.
God bless.